Hello, I'm Dylan.
And I'm Keon.
And this is Trust Your Doctor, that podcast with the worst fashion sense of all time. Because this week we watched The Twin Dilemma.
Written by Anthony Stephen.
Directed by Peter Moffat.
And aired in March of 1984.
I was actually reading that Anthony Stephen fell ill while writing this serial, and most of it is actually written by Eric Saywood, script editor, because Anthony Stephen couldn't finish it in time and he was like, I'm too sick to finish it.
Yeah, because being sick in bed isn't the best time to just write.
Well, Anthony Stephen would ended up dying in 1990, I think.
He had a good 6 years left.
He wouldn't write another serial for Doctor Who, so...
Yeah, well, I was going to say, his name doesn't seem too familiar.
This is his first and only contribution to the show. Thank God!
Well, I mean, maybe it would have been better if he had finished it. But maybe not.
Yeah, I don't know if I have that high hopes.
Honestly,
anymore.
I didn't even hate it as much as you did. I just thought it was like pretty decent.
Not even. You've just set the bar lower because you're thinking it's better than it is because you're like, hey, it's cool to see the Sixth Doctor for the first time.
Yeah, that's why it is as good as I'm thinking that it is.
This is the second time I've watched this serial, so...
Yeah, well, I mean, I wouldn't go back and watch this if you paid me to do it, but...
Yeah, no one paid me, but I did it anyway.
Yeah, I read that this was ranked, like, in 3 different polls as the worst Doctor Who story of all time.
Which is obviously false because it's Massacre.
I read on one of those polls that Caves of Androzani was ranked as the best, which is also obviously wrong because it's actually Armageddon Factor.
False. City of Death. Yeah, but that would be the largest possible swing in public opinion between 2 serials, so I guess that's sort of impressive. So it starts with these 2 twins, who are some of the worst actors in Doctor Who history.
Okay, all right,
which is impressive.
They got worse. All right, when they first showed up, it was like, they're pretty bad, but whatever. They're child actors too, so whatever. But as the serial went on, they just stopped caring, I guess, because by episode 4, they pretty much couldn't get any worse.
Apparently, Peter Moffat found some really good female twins, and then J&T was like, no, we're not changing the gender for this serial. And Peter Moffat was like, okay, I guess.
Well, I read on the wiki that they did change the gender for 2 of the characters, which were the fleet leader or whatever, who only shows up at the beginning, who was female but was originally intended to be male.
Yeah.
And the Chamberlain was male but was originally intended to be female.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird because he would be the only female, whatever those guys were.
Yeah, I don't know why J&T was just not down with changing the gender of the twins. Specifically the twins. Yeah, I had difficulty finding actors for the twins because I had to find actual twins because I guess it was cheaper to get actual twins to act instead of doing some photo trickery.
Well, the thing is, I don't know if they were actually twins or not. I guess they were. I mean, I didn't know when I was watching it, but to me they just looked like a younger brother and an older brother.
Yeah, apparently they're twins, so...
Okay.
So they're playing 4-dimensional chess backgammon or something. They're playing like chess on a backgammon board. Their dad walks in, he's like, I'm going out for dinner. I'm going out for a night on the town.
And they pull a Cartman, they're like, F you, Dad. F you, man.
And then they're like, we're going to play equations. And Dad's like, no, you can't play equations. That's dangerous. But he never explains why. And nothing bad seems to really happen.
It's because the sun will explode. Duh.
I saw a post on Reddit like 6 months ago now. But it was about this serial. And apparently the equations they do with the blocks and those shapes, that's like... a reference to
block transfer.
It's block transfer computation. No, it's a reference to a fictional like writing language from a different sci-fi series. So someone on Reddit like translated it, and it makes a bunch of in-jokes.
It just spoils the rest of the serial now.
No, but it does make some joke about something. I don't remember exactly, but apparently it's a
Two twins and a Jacondan walk into a bar.
That probably would have been a better premise for this serial, to be honest. So, yeah, they get kidnapped by...
Yeah, some old dude teleports into the room. And he's like, he gives all these reasons as to why he's not a threat. And he's like, give me your hands. And then immediately mind controls them.
And then they teleport away, and then we cut to Sixth Doctor. He's... well, he's quite something, I'll tell you that.
Honestly, I'm interested in seeing more of the Sixth Doctor. I liked him.
Well...
Despite his entire character... I liked
Here's the thing.
What I saw so far.
I liked what they were going for with... You know, he's kind of like, he acts like he has a plan, but he never actually has a plan. I liked that. But what I didn't like, and what I feel like let it down, was every other scene he was like trying to strangle Perry, or just trying to throw Perry to the dust.
Yeah, that was kind of weird, but also kind of fun, because like none of the other 5 Doctors have ever done anything like that. I mean, except maybe the 3rd Doctor, but not even to this extent. So that's why it's interesting.
And then the 6th Doctor has that line like, wow, if I was in your position and you in mine, I would have been gone. I would have been hoping I was dead. And I was like, truest thing you said this whole serial.
Well, I actually decided to take down some quotes this Doctor. And he says this later, but self-pity is all I have left. That's when I took down. And I was like, same. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, so I wrote in my notes, well, at least he looks less bored. Because with the 5th Doctor...
Lowest compliment you could possibly give.
Because the 5th Doctor... I liked the 5th Doctor, don't get me wrong, but the 5th Doctor looked kind of bored.
Yeah, I think he was like, why do I keep getting stuck with these...
with Adric.
With Adric and Perry.
Speaking of Perry, it seems like she just kind of gave up on the accent. I mean, she like sort of phases in and out of it.
Honestly, I didn't even notice in this serial, so...
You just thought she was British?
I just didn't care.
Oh. Well, the thing is, they're not really... Again, they're not giving her American-sounding dialogue, so... It's partially the writer's fault,
so it doesn't matter what her accent sounds like. So... The Doctor's wearing his burned and charred 5th Doctor outfit. Apparently, the actual 5th Doctor outfit from Peter Davison didn't fit Colin Bacon. They had to, like, enlarge it in the waist area to make it fit. And he goes into the wardrobe room. Apparently, the TARDIS is a wardrobe room. And he tries on the 3rd Doctor's velvet coat, and he's like, no, this isn't me. And then he puts on this... I think we've mentioned this before, but this god-awful outfit.
Yeah. Not the last time, I mean, that someone puts on a really bad-looking outfit in this serial. And they kind of poke fun at it, too, so...
And yet the 6th Doctor keeps it on. Apparently J&T asked the costume designer to make it as out there as possible, but not to include the color blue, because they use blue for the, like, green screening CSO technique. So they're like, just don't use blue. You can use whatever color you want except blue.
Well, they use, like, a light blue.
Yeah.
Like more of a turquoise. Not really.
It's predominantly
aqua.
It's predominantly red and yellow, though. He's a big blue... whatever type of tie that's called. It's like kind of like a bow tie, but it's not.
He has that sick cat pin.
I think that's Colin Baker's personal cat pin, actually. He's like, gotta put this on if we luck. Cat pin changes throughout his run, too, apparently. So, he's all, look at me. I'm looking pretty dandy. And Perry's like, you look terrible. And the Doctor's like, you don't have a fashion sense. This looks amazing. And Perry's like, oh, God.
Later, she goes into the wardrobe room and changes, and she comes out, and he's like, you look really bad, Perry.
She's like, well, F you.
And that's actually true. You know, she looks slightly less ridiculous than he does, but it still looks pretty terrible. And
yeah, it's like stripes and plaid. It's like cardinal rule of fashion, you don't mix stripes and plaid.
Where were the stripes? It was just a plaid shirt. It was just a plaid shirt with...
Didn't the skirt have stripes?
No, I don't think so. I think it was just a solid
Well,
green.
I don't remember.
Still looked, I don't know, questionable. But, yeah, we're not even at the best one yet.
So, then the Sixth Doctor tries to strangle Perry, so...
Yeah.
And, if I was Perry, I would have just, been like, drop me off at the next stop, Doctor. I'm out.
Yeah, actually, but oh, we get that nice reference to Persian mythology, which, I guess most people wouldn't care about, but I do, because, Persian, so...
The Sixth Doctor makes a lot of random off-the-cuff references to things.
There's, a lot of literary references.
Which is what they were going for, apparently.
Kind of annoying, actually.
Yeah, they were trying to make the Sixth Doctor sound really intellectual and hoity-toity, so to speak.
Yeah.
Which is why he drops all these references. Later, he basically quotes that poem Excelsior, right?
I don't know what he quotes.
It's a poem. He's reciting a poem while going up the hill, and Perry's like, can you stop? And the Doctor's like, no!
Yeah, he's like, I'm sure you Americans wouldn't appreciate poetry. And I'm like, yeah,
Ooh.
That's true. This poetry is dumb. Just kidding, I don't think it's dumb. But I don't think it's good either. Most of the time.
What about
like that one book,
what about
The Pizza the
epic
Size of
poetry?
the Sun.
I think I have that book.
Beowulf.
Yeah, or the Odyssey and the Iliad.
I'm more of a fan of the sequel, James Cameron's Beowulfs.
Oh, wow.
Beowulf 2, Beowulfs.
So the Doctor's like, I have to go into exile.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
I have to third Doctor myself.
He doesn't remember strangling Perry, and he's like... Actually, I don't think that's the reason he decides to become...
I think it's partially the reason, and he's like, I'm unstable. Gotta go land on a planet and exile myself and become a monk.
Yeah, he wants to get in. He wants to go into a cave on an asteroid.
And he's like, Perry, you'll be my disciple. And she's like,
nah. And he's like, yeah.
She's like, I guess I don't have a choice. Cut back to twins and Asmael. That's not his name right now. He's using like a fake name, like
Edgeworth.
Professor Edgeworth.
Miles Edgeworth from the Phoenix Wright games. But yeah. No, it's just Edgeworth. And he doesn't tell them what they have to do, and they actually mention that. They're like, hey, maybe you should tell us what to do because you kidnapped us and you want us to do something. He's like, no, now's not the time. I'm just going to lock you in this room with a control panel that links the ship's computer. I don't know. It was kind of weird because there was that control panel, right? And they were planning on sending a distress signal, which they succeed at. So that in itself was a bit strange. And then one of the guards goes and checks up on them, and they just stand suspiciously next to the control panel as he comes in. And he's like, looks good here. And he leaves. Like, smooth guys. Well, I guess it worked out for them. I guess we should describe I don't know what those guys were, because they weren't
the Jacondans.
Were they the Jacondans?
Yeah, they're the Jacondans.
Yeah, okay.
They look like bird people.
They looked kind of like the Draconians or whatever.
They remind me of Bird Person from Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty's an overrated show. I don't get why everyone loves Rick and Morty so much.
I like Rick and Morty because it's funny.
It's honestly not that funny.
It's funny to me.
So. I don't think it's that funny.
All right, then.
Just putting that out there.
People are allowed to have opinions. Yeah, so they have feathers on their face and really bird beak-like noses. And
yeah, they look pretty cool.
Yeah, the best part of the serial.
They kind of look also like the guys from the Leisure Hive, except less
right. Green. So, yeah, the distress beacon gets back to space control, or whatever the heck it is, and they're like, the twins, we gotta get the twins. By the way, the twins are named Romulus and Remus, so that's great.
Yeah, okay, so see, what I thought this was going to be was, like, at the end they somehow get stranded on Earth and they found Rome, and, like, that's the sort of
No.
origin story, ideology, whatever, behind Rome in this continuity, but no.
Not that cool. So, yeah, the space control sends a fleet of fighters to go track down the twins, and they get totally wiped out.
Yeah, because I think what they were implying was that they had stolen this ship.
Yeah, the merchant ship that's not supposed to have a warp drive, but it has a warp drive.
Yeah. So that's kind of interesting. Yeah, they all get wiped out except for
Hugo.
Hugo Lang. Hugo H. Lang. Did you notice that on his name tag there?
Hugo H. Lang.
Wonder if he's related to
Christopher H. Bidmead.
yeah, or Jesus H. Christ. No,
Somehow I don't think Jesus' middle name began with an H.
I don't know. There's a reason why H is. I don't know. There's a reason behind that, but I don't know what it is. It's just some. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know either, so. Yeah, so Hugo, the Doctor and Perry go out to go become exiles, and then they meet Hugo, and they're like, let's take him back to the... Well, Perry's like, we gotta save him. And the Doctor's like, no, not worth. Let's just leave him to die. And Perry's like, what the heck, Doctor?
Yeah, see? This is why I'm already liking the Sixth Doctor.
But that's so out of character for the Doctor.
Yeah, that's why I already like it.
It's just gonna be explained away as first serial regeneration nonsense,
No, I
which
thought
is what
this was going to be part of his overarching character plot line thing.
Yeah, but then like right after this, he's like, "Oh, sorry, Perry, was just a bit unstable there." Then at the end of the serial, he's like, "I'm totally stabilized now, Perry." So
But yeah, that's why he's already more interesting than some of the other Doctors were right off the bat, because he's not, he's not 1 through 5.
I mean, every Doctor's not the previous ones.
In a way more extreme way than it's previously been.
Colin Baker is definitely let down by the poor direction the show is trying to take, I think.
I don't know. I think it could be interesting. I know they don't finish this.
I think he's being
plot,
let down by the writing, because I think that...
He's a good actor.
Yeah, because I think what Colin Baker is trying to do with the role is good, but I think where JNT is trying to take the role is different from what Colin Baker wanted to, and I think that's why it kind of ends up being a bit of a muddled mess.
I don't think it was a muddled mess. I liked it.
I'm talking about his era as a whole. I'm just speculating.
Well, okay then.
Apparently Colin Baker wanted the outfit to be like a black leather jacket, which honestly would have matched his character a lot more
Biker
than that
helmet.
rainbow we got. And I feel like I would have liked it. He would be more likable if he wasn't wearing that rainbow outfit.
I mean, who really cares about the costume at the end of the day?
Colin
Not
Baker
me.
does. Actually, J&T said later the costume was definitely a mistake of his. So, yeah, Hugo tries to kill the Doctor, and that's how episode 1 ends.
Yeah, they bring him into the TARDIS. Oh, they reference the Eye of Orion, but the Doctor forgot how to get there.
Regeneration woes. Don't worry, it'll be back next week.
Or not.
His memory, at least.
But yeah, they erased the twins' memory. It doesn't really come into play other than those 2 lines later where they're like, why'd you erase our memories?
Or that line later where Asmil just gives them their memories back.
Yeah, because I guess they still remember how to do all their cool math crap, but they just don't remember their family? I don't know. They still remember that they're twins, and that they still remember each other, I guess.
Yeah. So, anyway, the Doctor... Well, Hugo passes out, and the Doctor just gives the power pack to Perry, and she hides it in the wardrobe room later on, you find out in the one costume Hugo tries on.
It's the best hiding place possible because it's in the pocket of this ridiculous looking outfit, so you'd go, no one would pick this piece of garbage up.
Yeah, I feel like Perry should have looked at the track record of people going into that wardrobe room in the past, like, episode and been like, no, we should put it in the most sensible outfit, because that's the outfit no one will put on, clearly. Yeah, she puts it in this, like, sparkly, reflective blue, purple, and silver outfit that Hugo puts on.
It's like a Renaissance fair gone completely wrong.
Gone techno. And yeah, so the Doctor and Perry see this pyramid and they're like, let's go check that pyramid out.
It's more of a mound, really.
It's more of a step pyramid.
You see it from far away. I thought it looked like a giant earthen mound.
Yeah, it's more of a step pyramid, I think. So they're going and they just find this trapdoor and they're like, this must lead into the pyramids with a mound, I guess.
And Terry's like, maybe we should go in the front door. And the Doctor's like, you're a complete idiot, Perry. Literally the stupidest human being. Or something along those lines.
He insults the human race later on, too. He's
multiple
like,
times.
goddamn human race.
Honestly, Nicola Bryant, I guess is her name. Her acting really isn't all there. I guess in Caves of Androzani, I mentioned, like, okay, it's a little bit better than in Planet of Fire, but I don't know. I feel like it's not great, especially now that Colin Baker is the Doctor and he's, like, a pretty good actor, so... Or at least I think better than...
I don't know if I call him better than Peter Davison.
I don't know if he's better, but...
better than Tom, who was just playing himself.
Well, see, like Tom, he draws attention to himself. And that's part of his character, I think, and also part of his acting.
Right. Well, I think he's kind of, in a way, like I mentioned earlier, a little bit of an opposite to the Fourth Doctor. So the Fourth Doctor was like... always acts like he never has a plan, but he always has a plan. And the Sixth Doctor, like, always acts like he has a plan, but never actually has a plan. I'm specifically thinking of the scene in at the end of episode 2 where the Doctor's like, oh, it worked.
Yeah.
Didn't expect that to work.
Yeah. I guess, yeah, they both have wild manes as well, so. Yeah. I guess the Third Doctor did too.
The Third Doctor's was more of a... Okay, the Fourth and Sixth Doctors is more of, like, in all directions, whereas the Third was more of a... I don't know what the hairstyle is called that I'm thinking
It started off normal, and then it was just...
He just kept letting it grow.
Yeah, anyway.
Real hard-hitting point of Doctor Who is the Doctor's hair, I think. So... The Doctor and Perry get in, and then they're like, yeah, we should... Well, the Doctor's like, yeah, let's just turn back. And Perry's like, we're supposed to be looking for the twins. And the Doctor's like, oh, yes. And then they run into some Gicandans, and the Doctor's like, it was all Perry's fault.
Oh, yeah. He, like, cowers behind Perry.
And Perry's like, Doctor, if I had a knife, I'd stab you. Well, she doesn't say it. She doesn't say it, but you could see it in her face. That was the face of someone who's about to stab someone.
Someone's about to get stabbed in here. Yeah, as soon as the Gicandans show up, the Doctor's like, it was her! It was her!
Also, if I was Perry, I would actually probably either leave or stab. The Doctor's like, I'll just take my chances with it. Take my chances with the next regeneration. This one's just a bust. Let's just try again. So, yeah, they get captured, and the Doctor's like, hey, Asmail!
And Edgeworth is like, don't use that name anymore. That's not my name anymore.
And the Doctor's like, yeah, screw that. Asmail!
Asmail! Perry! Okay.
Doesn't quite work the same. Maybe with Perry.
Nah.
So...
Romulan! Okay, no.
Wow, that's the worst. So the Doctor tries to jog Asmail's memory with this memory of when he was in his fourth incarnation and they were at the fountain.
Because Asmail's a Time Lord, so we get all this backstory nonsense. Deep lore, no.
Yeah, apparently there was some confusion because Saywood, I think, or J&T was like, hey, we should make it that mentor character that the Doctor kept mentioning through his third and fourth incarnation, you know? Specifically his third is like, hey, I had this mentor back on Gallifrey. There was like some mix-up in the scripting department, and it just became some random Time Lord that...
Just became Asmail.
that taught the Doctor once, and something with a fountain.
Yeah.
I keep mentioning this fountain. I'm like, what happened at this fountain? Honestly, the fourth Doctor probably blew up the fountain or something.
Oh, well, I was going to say something a lot more. Never mind.
This is a PG show. So, I mean, not that the amount of deaths in this show would have you believe that, but... So, Asmail and the Jacondans are like, well, we've been compromised, time to leave, so they fail. And then the Jacondans behind Asmail's back set the...
It's actually just one Jacondan, like, acting on his own. He's like, guess I better set this self-destruct sequence.
The upstart Jacondan.
And later he gets flack for it. He's like, by the way, Edgeworth, I set that self-destruct sequence, so, you want to reward me for that? And she's like, no, I never told you to do that. Why did you do that?
And the guy's like, darn.
Well, it's done now.
Well, then,
nothing you can do about it, Asmail.
Yeah, they use this transporter to get out, and Asmail's off. This transporter will become random once you've used it, so you won't be able to use it to get anywhere. And the Doctor's like, well, I'll just use it. I'll just modify it so we can go straight to the TARDIS. Easy.
Also, he puts a lock on the door with like 10,000...
10 million combinations or something.
Yeah.
The Doctor's like, it'll take me a few days.
10 million.
Yeah, 10 million. 10,000 million. 10 trillion billion million.
Yeah, well...
The Doctor's all, it'll take me a few days to crack this, and Perry's like, yeah, sure, right. And the Doctor's like, well, I guess we'll just use this teleporter. And then, so Perry teleports successfully, and then the Perry's watch stops, and I was like, oh man, is the cliffhanger actually going to be Perry's watch stopped? But no.
No, we'll have to go all the way back to Earth to fix this.
But then the Doctor teleports, and Perry's like, no, because it blows up, and you're like, well, you know the Doctor's going to get through. Honestly, it would have been better if the Doctor's like, oh no, the watch has stopped, and then she went, pew! Credits.
Not to mention the new intro sequence, which is almost the same, but just a lot more rainbowy.
And the Doctor smiles.
Yeah,
or winks or something.
He looks a lot less bored.
They use two photos now, so he looks stoic, and then he smiles and winks, and you're like, haha. But yeah, there's way more rainbows. There's like noticeably more rainbows. It's almost overkill. Same theme though, which the theme doesn't get changed till the trial of a Time Lord, so anyway.
Yeah, so Perry's safe and the Doctor is presumably dead.
Yes. It's just more, even if we liked aspects of his Doctor, it's more fun to pretend that we hate him.
Not really. I don't think so.
It's what we did for the third Doctor.
I didn't pretend I hated the third Doctor for his first season.
For his first season, but then we kept the joke up for like another year and a half and going still, so...
Yeah, I guess.
The Doctor survives, obviously, except he's like, oh, I overcompensated, so I ended up 10 minutes...
Yeah, great cliffhanger.
10 seconds. Okay, well, it's actually... There was this confusing scene because the Doctor materializes in the TARDIS.
And then
he like flips some switches. Well, no, because then he materializes in the TARDIS. He's like, damn, girl. And he flips some switches, and then he materializes around Perry and Hugo.
Yeah, he had to flip those switches.
And I was like, well, the first time I watched this serial, I thought what was going to happen was that the Twin Dilemma was like also a play on like, because of the transporter, it would malfunction and the Doctor would go both 10 seconds into the future and 10 seconds into the past, and then you have to like reconcile the fact he would have to like recombine the two halves of the Doctor again. I'm
Well,
like,
that would have been cool.
yeah, see, that's what I thought was going to happen the first time I watched this serial. But no, and that scene is just in there for no reason. That scene is what made me think that was going to happen, but it didn't. And I was like, damn.
Oh, well. Yeah, so he materializes 10 seconds later. I was like, great cliffhanger resolution, guys.
What do you expect, to be honest?
I don't know.
So the Doctor's like, well, what now? And Hugo's like, I'm going to kill you. And the Doctor's like...
His gun is, like, super tiny.
The Doctor's like, can you stop trying to kill me, dude?
In what's possibly the best innuendo of this series. I don't know. And maybe the only one. I'm sure there's more.
So the Doctor's like, well, I think they're going to Jakarta, so we're going to Jakarta. And Perry's like, great. Yeah, okay. So they go to Jakarta, and the Doctor's like, look how beautiful this is. And Perry's like, it's a bombed out nuclear wasteland.
And the Doctor's like, oh yeah, you're right. The slugs did this. It was the gastropods. And I was like, how do you know? I mean, it was the gastropods, but maybe it was just nuclear war.
This is the future.
Maybe it's the future of Earth.
Yeah.
Maybe it's tomorrow.
Well, that would suck because then this episode would never go out.
But yeah, apparently the Jakandans were living peacefully until the Fire Nation attacked. Okay, no. I never even watched that show. I watched like I watched like 2 episodes, and I was like, you know what, this is all right, but I'm not going to watch the rest of it. But no, actually, the slugs attacked.
And now the slugs have seen the folly of their ways and want to remake Jakarta in its glorious, beautiful image, neglecting to mention that they were the ones who made it a bombed-out nuclear wasteland.
Also, they want to blow up the sun to spread their kind.
Well, when you put it like that, sounds a lot more sinister. So, the Doctor finds... Well, okay, they go into the caves for whatever nonsense reason. They, like, dematerialize and materialize
they
in
go
the
into the caves. Yeah, I guess they couldn't just walk to the caves. No, they're typical Southern Californians driving down the street.
Jeez.
It's true.
Subtle dig.
We don't walk anywhere.
I walk everywhere. Walk or take the
well,
bus.
Well, I don't walk anywhere, and most Southern Californians don't walk anywhere. I'm like, there's a grocery store across the street from my house, and I don't walk there. I drive there.
There's a grocery street a block away.
Grocery street? It's a whole...
Grocery store. Yeah, it is. It's a whole street, actually.
I mean, with the amount of strip malls around here, I mean...
I actually don't walk to that either, but I do walk to the bakery that's on the corner opposite. Anyway.
What? Where's...
The...
What?
Panera, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, back to the serial at hand. The Doctor... Well, okay, so Perry gets kidnapped. Hugo gets trapped in some slug slime, which apparently hardens like concrete instantly. Hugo's like, damn.
He tries to melt it away with his gun thing.
The Doctor's like, screw you guys, I'm going on.
Screw you guys, I'm going home. He really is... Well, okay, I guess the twins were Cartman before. But I guess the twins and the Doctor combined to make a fat, annoying child.
So, the Doctor busts on in to the room with Asmail.
He's like, Asmail! And he tries to strangle him.
The Doctor's a lot more violent than previous incarnations.
Yeah, he's a lot more strangly.
And Asmail's like, I didn't set that self-destruct. And the Doctor's like, oh, right. Sorry. Momentary fit of hysteria. And Asmail's like,
It's
yeah,
cool.
okay.
It's all right.
By the way, I've used up all my regenerations. So I'm taking you. No.
If I can't regenerate, nobody can. No.
He's just gonna be the master for the cereal. So
I mean, in a sense, he was. He was like a more reluctant master. You know, tapping into another race's plans.
But he also dies at the end, which the master never does. So yeah, they're like, wow. By the way, Asmel, you kind of forgot the like really obvious point that sun will blow up.
Yeah, there's that stupid scene where they reveal some of the past history with those cave paintings. That was like great way to drop this information with these cave paintings. And I forget exactly what it was, but it was like...
Jaconda's are peaceful people.
Yeah, I think this is where we get the slugs invaded Jaconda.
I don't quite remember the episode 3 cliffhanger. Oh. Yeah. Perry gets kidnapped, and I think Hugo runs in. It's like, Perry's been kidnapped, and the Doc's like, no, Perry! And I think that's how episode 3 ends.
Yeah. So at least he cares about his companions when he's not...
When he's not trying to strangle them, or hating them, or leaving them behind to die, or threatening to turn them into hermits.
Yep.
In one serial, this Doctor's already disregarded Perry more times than the previous 5 Doctors combined.
Well, I mean, that's not too hard since she only met the 5th Doctor before this.
Replace Perry with the word companion.
Yeah, which is why it's kind of fun to watch.
But I think I just don't like it as much because it's like totally out of character for everything they've established with the Doctor so far.
Yeah, that's why it's fun.
Like, I like the elements of the Doctor's character that have been established that aren't the like 20 scenes in the serial that are him out of character for what the Doctor is. Because, like, at one point he, like, directly tells Hugo to just go murder some dudes, and I'm like, the Doctor wouldn't do that.
Yeah, that's why it's fun, because he's so dissimilar to the other Doctors that it's like, cool, I want to keep watching this show, instead of, I just want to put a bullet in my head now. Just kidding.
But they've established these core, like, values for the Doctor that while every Doctor has a different personality, there's, like, 2 things that remain constant. 1, he always cares about his companion, and 2, he always tries to do with as little violence as possible.
Yeah, and now they're throwing all that on its head, which is great.
Which would have been nice if there had been, like, character development that led to that point, instead of just throwing it in as a regeneration thing. They're like, haha.
That's why it's awesome, because it's such an abrupt shift. Which, I mean, if you don't like it, sure, fine.
I don't.
Whatever, but I do. So
good for you. I said before we started recording that if this was the finale to any season of the show I watched, I'd just stop watching, to be honest. I'd just be done.
I would keep watching it because I'd be like, cool, I want to see what happens next in a year.
Yeah, we'll see if you keep saying that. We'll see if I keep saying...
Well, I mean, we're going to watch it either way, so...
Yeah, but we'll see if we still like/dislike it at the end.
So what happens next?
Yeah, episode 4 is the worst episode of this serial because it has no plot. The Doctor just like walks around with Asmail for a while.
It's the 6th Doctor being his insufferable self.
They just walk around,
cool.
not doing anything.
There was some more information about how they're going. They investigate the life pod rooms or the egg rooms, like in Jurassic Park or whatever. And the eggs are like way too tough to break out of.
Giant Tic Tacs.
Yeah, that's what they look like. They're way too tough for the slugs to break out of, so it's like, that's kind of weird, but then they realize that they're actually just going to use because they were planning on bringing the 2 planets into the orbit of Jaconda. That's why Asmail kidnapped the twins, because the Jacondans needed a new planet to live on, so they were just going to use these other 2 planets, and colonize them, I guess. So they needed the twins' mathematical abilities to bring them into Jaconda's orbit. Sounds like everything would go horribly wrong with that plan. I mean, bringing a couple planets into another planet. Okay, anyway, what Nestor wants to do, which we haven't even mentioned him yet. He's like the slug leader who's taken control of Jaconda and is also a despotic tyrant guy. He wants to blow up the sun, which is going to spread the eggs throughout the universe and also melt them and birth new slugs so that they can take over other planets.
Or the slugs will be born then in like space where they won't be able to breathe.
I don't know. Yeah, his plan never comes to fruition anyway, so.
I mean, it's kind of a dumb plan, to be honest.
Yeah, well, Nestor, or whatever his name was kind of a dumb character.
Because couldn't you, like, just fly the eggs pretty close to the sun, and melt them, and hatch them, and then
send.
Like, why do you have to blow up the sun for this plan?
I guess just to wipe out the Gicondans. I don't know.
Why do you have to use an inhabited planet, too?
I don't know.
There's probably hundreds of solar systems that are uninhabited where you could just detonate the sun for fun.
Yeah, but what's the fun in that?
You get to detonate the sun.
Yeah, but
it's pretty fun.
But you don't get to kill anyone.
You're saying you have to kill people for detonating the sun to be fun?
No, I'm just saying you have to kill people for anything to be fun.
Okay, Hitler. Okay. So the doctor goes to Mestor and is like, haha, I can beat you in a mind meld competition. And Mestor is like,
duel.
Screw you, I'm gonna take over Asmael. And he's like, hey, that's not fair. And Asmael's like, quick, blow up his body with that acid you have.
Yeah, because the doctor picks up this vial of suspicious acid. And he robots him to death. It actually looked kind of cool, the melting sequence there. With Asmael's subpar costume. Forgot to mention that scene where the peasant guy dies because he stole some vegetables. I guess they were trying to add to the Gicondans' character.
Or they're trying to pad the runtime.
Probably a little bit of both. The padding runtime part was successful, but the making you feel sorry for the Gicondans part was not as successful.
Anyway, Mestor's like, no, I'm melting.
But it's okay, because his soul is now in Asmael's body, and Asmael's like, guess I'll just die now. And he takes both of them out. And
the doctor's like, damn.
You see this, like, purple soul wisp thing emerge from Asmael's body. Turns out that was Asmael, and Nestor is still in his body. No.
Yeah, so Asmael dies. Also, he's like, you were too unstable, Doctor. He would have just wiped you out if he took over your mind.
And the doctor's like, yeah, no, I don't think so.
Screw you, Asmael.
I'm going home.
And, yeah.
Yeah, Nestor, I guess, dies too.
Yeah, by the Doctor's hand. So the Sixth Doctor comes in and immediately kills someone in his first serial. He's doing pretty good there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't actually consider that pretty good, but,
Oh, well, yeah, me too. Oh, I'm just kidding.
So then they go home. Hugo's like, I'm gonna stay and help the Gicondans rebuild in this bombed-out nuclear wasteland.
Yeah, there's nothing for me left back on Earth. Guess I'll just become a deserter since I'm, still a part of the space police or whatever.
Well, I think the space police thinks he's dead, so
yeah,
he just takes that opportunity to reinvent himself and live a new life. Kind of like Elvis, no?
Yeah, all right.
That secret government compound where they're keeping Elvis.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And, the doctor's like, I'll take the twins home.
Yep.
And God, I hope they don't become companions.
Yeah, no, they don't. They don't.
Yeah, I don't think they do. My knowledge of them says they don't, but... Man, if the seal ended like that, I wouldn't blame you for assuming that they would become companions.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's the end of the season. So,
I don't know, this
season was a bit of a train wreck at the start, and then it kind of picked up near the end.
Yeah, I mean, I've said it like pretty much every week for the past couple of weeks, but I think I'll just conclusively reiterate that this was the worst season of Doctor Who.
I don't know. Season 7 still giving it a pretty good run for its money.
Nah, I don't know. Season 7 was like 4 pretty bad serials. This was like 4 really bad ones in a row. And then like a couple, like an okay one, a good one, and then this.
Yeah, this would say firmly below the okay one.
So, I don't know. It's just such a terrible way to open the season with just those 4 god awful serials in a row.
Well, this is mildly related, but while I was reading about this serial, I found out that Resurrection of the Daleks was actually intended to be the finale to season 20. But because of some budget nonsense, they had to cut the finale and put it towards the Five Doctors to save the Five Doctor special. And also the Resurrection of the Dalek script wasn't apparently finished on time, so they scrapped it as the season finale for 20 and moved it into this season instead. So I thought that was interesting. Also because we've mentioned that serial would make a lot more sense with that 20th season throwback vibe they were going for.
Yeah, would make a lot more sense. Wouldn't make it better, but it would make a lot more sense.
It wouldn't make it better, but I think if it was there, maybe we would have gotten a better serial in its place in this season, because they would have had to write another serial for this season.
Or a worse one.
I don't know if they can get worse than The Awakening.
It's hard to get lower than Warriors, Awakening, Resurrection, and Frontios, but it's possible. This show has proven in the past that it's possible.
Yeah, The Massacre, Space Pirates, the second Peladon serial.
Still think Warriors was worse than that.
Not worse than the second Peladon serial.
Warriors was like...
No.
Warriors might have even been worse than Space Pirates.
No, I strongly disagree with that statement, for sure.
Space Pirates started off interesting. Warriors was...
So did Warriors.
Not really.
Yes, it did. You thought it took place in space. It was underwater. That's pretty neat.
That doesn't make it interesting. Just within the first 5 or 10 minutes, it was already gone. Space Pirates at least had like that almost full episode.
Yeah, but Space Pirates was 6 episodes of that nonsense.
Yeah, well, I'd have to rewatch them side by side. Not side, one after the other. Not side by side simultaneously. That would save me some aggravating time.
Just get 12 screens and play the worst serial from every Doctor on all the screens at once. And
slow the ones down that are shorter than the other ones.
Yes.
So you have to suffer equally.
Yes, you have to watch about 6 classic episode length worth of each serial. Yeah, that made sense. I think you understood what I was saying there.
Sure. Maybe that'll be a special on Trust Your Doctor one of these days.
Yeah, maybe when we're really desperate for content, and I don't think that'll be anytime soon. But I did like the season for trying something new in that...
And failing.
It dumped all the companions, had the Doctor regenerate, and introduced the new Doctor all in one season. So I at least commend it for trying something new.
Well, I think season 4 did that.
Sort of, yeah. Except that one was kind of...
It was like a new Doctor, then they dumped the companions, and then...
Yeah, well, that one, season 4 was kind of the inverse of this one, because the first Doctor regenerated like 2 serials into the season, whereas this one, the 5th Doctor was most of the season, and they ended it off with the 6th Doctor.
Yeah.
And I think they're trying to build hype for the next season, because I think the ratings are like slowly dipping. The like amount of people watching is slowly sliding every week, and honestly, I don't blame them after the start of the season. Next week we have a Cyberman serial, though, so I'm really hoping that they...
Doesn't mean it's going to be good.
No, in fact, it probably won't be, which is a pity, because I still really like the Cybermen, but...
Okay, so we've spent the entire season reminding everyone how terrible it is, but what were the good parts of this season?
Well, Turlo got more character development than every other companion combined.
Yeah, Turlo is a good part of this season.
Tegan
left.
Tegan did some cool things.
Yeah, I guess. Just Tegan being in the season, that makes it okay.
I think the 5th Doctor specifically got some good lines and good character development this season. I think the season was good for character development at the expense of the plot of the serials.
Okay, well, in the middle of the season, I would say, Planet of Fear / Caves of Androzani did some pretty cool stuff.
For the Doctor, I'd say Resurrection of the Daleks to an extent, too.
I guess, but it was just wrapped in such a...
Just Tegan leaving was like him realizing that things are kind of slipping for him. and his kind of non-violent ways.
But it's I don't know. It's sort of counteracted by all the terrible nonsense that surrounds it.
I like the direction they're trying to take with the Sixth Doctor, but like I said, I feel like there's some conflict behind the scenes that's muddling it. Is that a word? Muddling it a bit.
I don't know. I'd say the Sixth Doctor is a good part of this season.
Well, I think this serial is partially also let down by the fact that it had to introduce the Doctor. I feel like the serial would have been more interesting. It could have been more fleshed out if they didn't have to introduce the Doctor.
Maybe, but it's really just not an interesting story, so...
Not really, no. And it's nothing terribly original either. People invade a planet, take it over, and are gonna blow it up, and the Doctor has to save them. Has been done like every other week on this show, so... But hey, at least he was saving Jaconda, not Earth, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I really think the best part of the season was the character development.
Yeah, probably. I'd probably say Turlo was the best part of the season. Okay, so I guess the Jacondans are kind of screwed now, right? Because their planet is like...
Yes.
Yeah. Sucks.
That's why Hugo's there. He's going to become their despotic ruler and expand them to new planets and make them an empire. Then they'll conquer the universe. No, that probably doesn't happen. That's too cool.
Would be cool, though.
Too cool for this show.
That they overcome all odds only to become the villains themselves.
That'd be a good story for the Sixth Doctor's final serial, to be honest.
What, that he becomes the villain himself?
No. That the race he saved in his first serial becomes like the villain, like almost like Face of Evil, but his first impression on the Jacondans, because it's so out there and so I don't know how to describe it right now, but so unstable, like that character inspires the Jacondans, and then in his final serial where he's like mellowed out a bit, he comes back and like the actions he had on the Jacondans have led them to become this massive despotic empire.
Like, I don't think it even needs to be as complicated as that. I think it just needs to be like, well, our planet was kind of dying, so we conquered everything.
Yeah, that would have been a good story for the Sixth Doctor's final serial. And if you don't know, the Sixth Doctor doesn't actually get a proper final serial because of like disagreements between him and JNT and the BBC. It was like a three-way argument going on. So he has a serial, and then there's like the season gap, and then the next season starts with Sylvester McCoy in a wig lying on the floor regenerating into the seventh incarnation.
Yeah, no, I knew about that somehow already. I don't know.
Big Finish, the audio drama people, gave him a proper final story, so maybe we'll listen to that.
Some stuff.
Anyway, yeah, I'm just hoping that the next season is, one, more interesting, and two, better.
Well, that's not going to be hard. I mean...
Well, we're also moving to 45-minute parts.
Yeah, this was the last
season.
30-minute episode for a while.
For a whole season. And it's actually the only, like, if you consider Trial of the Time Lord as one story, this is the only 4-part, 25-minute episode story for the Sixth Doctor. Jesus.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of interesting. Well, the serials are pretty much the same length. It's 2 45s instead of 4 25s.
Well... Somehow I don't think the show's going to benefit from that, because they have difficulty filling 25-minute parts as it is.
And now they're going to have difficulty filling 45 minutes.
At least we get Patrick Troughton this next season, so that's going to be good, I hope.
In what?
The Two Doctors. That's the season.
Oh.
And we get Jamie.
I thought that was supposed to be with this Doctor and the Fifth and Peter Davison.
No, surprise, it's Patrick Troughton and Jamie. Surprise! And it's written by Robert Holmes. So, email us at email us at the
It's a companion now.
Email us at thedoctor@decorativevegetable.com. Questions, comments, concerns, angry rants, love letters, thoughts on the Sixth Doctor. Based on the tweets I think the Trust Your Doctor account has been getting, I don't think our fans are like the Sixth Doctor. At least that the one person who did tweet at us, whose name I'm forgetting.
Yeah, same here.
Check us out on iTunes, YouTube, and Google Play, all at Trust Your Doctor. Leave a rating if you like the show.
Yep, check us out on Facebook, Trust Your Doctor, and like us on Facebook, and also check us out on Twitter, TYD Podcast, and follow us on Twitter. And next week we watch Attack of the Cybermen, but until then, the end.